Hi guys, good evening. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm in chat box.
Yes, sir, it is very
Good. Thanks for confirmation. Fine guys. Guys, if you want to develop any software project, if you want to develop any web application, how many components we have guys? Right, to develop web application, right, we have below three components. Below three components. What components are there? One is front end component, second one is backend component, third one is database DB component, persistent component guys. So these are the three main components we have guys: front end, back end and persistent. The persistent is nothing but database guys, right? These are the three main components we have guys. Okay, now if you want to develop all these three components and if you want to deliver the project to client, I want to develop these three components and I want to deploy the project in the server. Right? If you want to do that activities, what are the technology stacks we required? What technologies we required to develop these components and to deploy that project into the server? Right. So for developing the project and deploying into the servers, right, required components, required technologies guys. What technologies are required guys? Observe very carefully. See, if you want to develop a front end part, right, we required HTML, right? HTML is required for developing front end, and we required CSS, and we required bootstrap we required, and we required some of the client side related frameworks, which are Angular or right, React.js, right? These are the front end related technologies which we require to develop the front end part guys. At the same time, to develop the back end stuff, right? If you want to develop the back end part, what technologies we required guys? Right, Java or Python, Java or Python or PHP, Java, Python or PHP is required, or Ruby we can use it here, right? Or .NET we can use it here, .NET we can use, etc guys. All these things we require for developing the backend part guys. If you want to develop the front end, we require these technologies. To develop the backend, we require these technologies. Coming to database, right? So here database is what we are going to use. MySQL database we can use, right? Oracle database we can use, right? Here, right? NoSQL databases also we can use guys. NoSQL databases, which are MongoDB, we can use. Next we can use DynamoDB we can use as NoSQL database, right? So etc. These are the databases related things we require guys. Next guys, I need to deploy the application into the server. For that we need one web server guys. We require one web server also. For that I'm going to take Apache, I'm going to take Tomcat guys. Web server, I'm going to take Tomcat at here. Tomcat I'm taking it here guys. Next guys, here what I want to do, I want to, right, maintain message queues also I require. Some message queues are there. We need to publish our messages inside the topic, right? Subscribers will come and consume those messages guys. For that I'm going to use Kafka. I'm using it here. Next here, caches. I want some caches also required. Distributed cache, Redis I am using it here. Redis cache I am using it here. And Git I am using, right? GitHub I am using, right? All these things are required to develop the project guys. See guys, what we required for developing the project. If you want to develop the project, complete project, and deploy the project into the servers, all these technology stack is required. HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, Angular or React, Java or Python or PHP or Ruby, right? MySQL databases, right? Tomcat web server is required, right? For messaging queues purpose, Kafka I am using, right? Here cache guys, distributed cache. Instead of communicating with the database every time, whatever the static kind of data is there, that data I will fetch from the DB and I will keep inside the cache. Right? My web microservices will go and get that data from the cache. Right? For cache purpose, I am going to use Redis cache at here. Git I am using, GitHub I am using it here. After developing the project, we need to keep our code inside the repository. So that repository I am going to use GitHub repository at here. See guys, if you want to develop one software project, how many things are required guys? To develop the software project, we required these many number of things. We required these many number of things guys. Understood guys? If you want to develop any software project, we required all these things guys. All these things are required to develop the software project. Fine. Good. So now observe carefully guys. Right, with all these things, I have developed the project. I have developed the project by using all these things guys. See in my computer, right, this is my computer. Right, in my computer by using all those technologies, I have developed the project guys. Right, after developing that, right, I have tested in my system, it is working fine. It is working as expected guys. It is working as expected. Now what I did, I have given that code, whatever the code I have implemented, I have given that code to one of my friend. I have given that code to one of my friend guys. What he is telling, array, whatever the code you have given, I took that code in my system, but that code is not working. What he is telling guys, whatever the code I have given to my friend, that code is not working in his mission. Why guys? What can be the reason? Right, this is my friend mission. Whatever the code I have implemented for this project, same code I have given to my friend. Same code I have given to my friend, but he is saying that the project is not working in his mission. But same project is working in my mission. What is the reason? What is the reason guys? Observe carefully. Please tell me what is the reason here. Whatever the code I have implemented, right, same code I have given to my friend, that code is working fine in my system, but in my friend's system, it is not working. It is not working. What can be the reason? Right, what can be the reason guys? Same code I have given. This code is not working for me like that he is telling guys. See guys, right, reason can be anything. Observe carefully guys. Reason can be, see. In my system, this is my system guys. In my system, right, I am using Windows operating system. Right, I am using Windows operating system. Right, and here I am using, right, for developing the project, I am using Java 1.8 version. Java 1.8 version I am using it here. And here I am using MongoDB. I am using it here. MongoDB. Right, MongoDB. Right, version I am using, which version? Right, suppose I take 3.8 something. 3.8 version I am using. Windows operating system I am using. Java 1.8 I am using. And MongoDB database I am using in my system guys. But what configuration this guy have in his mission? Right, in my friend system, Windows is there or something else. Java 1.8 version is there or some other version is available. MongoDB 3.8 version is available or any other version is available. We need to check here. See guys, in my friend mission, he is using Mac OS. He is using Mac operating system. And he is using Java 15. Java 15 version he is using. And he is using MongoDB, right, 4.5 something he is using. 4.5 version something he is using. See guys, versions are matching. Versions are matching guys. Versions are matching or not? No, whatever the softwares I have used to develop that project, right, those software versions are not matching with this mission. Right, my friend mission, whatever softwares are same guys. Right, softwares Java, MongoDB, but versions are not matching. Versions are different. Because of that versions issue also, that application may not work guys. whatever I have implemented, same code I have shared with my friend. In my system, that application is working fine. But in my friend system, that application is not working properly. What is the reason? Maybe software versions are varied. Software versions are varied between system to system. Because of that reason also, application won't work. Understood, guys? That is one reason, guys. So how we can able to solve this problem? Here, to develop the project, we are using so many technologies. Which version of HTML you are using? Which version of CSS you are using? Which version of Bootstrap you are using? Which version of Angular, Java, MySQL, Tomcat, Kafka, Redis, GitHub? What versions you are using in your system? Same thing, same versions should be available in your friend system also. Then only this application will work. Otherwise, it won't work, guys. See, manually, if you want to manage all these things, is it difficult or not, guys? Here, I'm using 100 softwares, 100 technologies I'm using. All 100 technologies, different version I'm taking it here. Same configuration should be available in my friend mission also. If there is any versions mismatch also, application won't work in my friend mission. Is it possible to do manually all these things? No, guys, it is difficult. How you can able to resolve this problem? To resolve this problem, people will go for virtualization concept. Earlier, people used to resolve this problem by using virtualization. 1 minute, guys. Let me. See, guys, earlier what people did, guys, they used to resolve this problem. People use it to write virtualization, guys. In virtualization, what we have, guys, observe carefully. Here we have first host operating system is available. On top of host operating system, we are going to take one software. We are going to install one software which is called hypervisor. This is my host operating system. Whenever in your personal system, you will have one operating system, right? That is host operating system. Main operating system, we will call it as host operating system. Host operating system is available. On top of this host operating system, we need to install one software which is called as hypervisor. Hypervisor software we need to install, guys. Hypervisor software is required. So let me take this hypervisor software where I am installing on top of host operating system. I am installing hypervisor software. What is the use of this hypervisor, guys? So by using with the help of hypervisor on top of host operating system, we can install other operating systems. Those operating systems we will call it as guest operating systems. Guys, in virtualization, we have two types of operating systems. One is host operating system, whatever the other operating systems we are going to install, those operating systems we will call it as guest operating systems. If you want to install guest operating systems on top of this host operating system, compulsory you should install one software which is called as hypervisor. With the help of hypervisor only we can able to install the guest operating systems on top of the host operating system. See, guys, observe carefully, guys. Now here I am going to take these things, guys. These are the virtual machines, guys. These are the virtual machines we will call. So these are the virtual machines, guys. Here, inside this virtual machine, what I am going to take? See here, application. Here, guest OS I am taking. Guest operating system I am taking it here. This is my guest operating system. I am going to take guest operating system. So next here, for our application, to run our application, whatever the libraries are required, whatever the dependencies are required, all those things we need to install, guys. Here, whatever the libraries, whatever the code, whatever the required things are there, everything we need to install. Libs, libraries and everything we need to install it here, guys. To run our application, whatever the things are required, everything we need to take it here. Right guys, finally we are going to take application. Application 1 I am taking. Observe carefully guys what I am taking it here. So like this I have taken guys, see. To run this application, whatever the libraries and dependencies are required, we need to install all those things. To run this application, whatever the operating system is required, we need to install that operating system also. This is what guys, this is one virtual machine. This is one virtual machine guys. This is VM1 we are taking it here. That same way we need to take other two, right? Let me take one more mission. See guys, observe carefully. Right here, this is application 2, this is application 3. See guys, right, if you want to run any application, right, corresponding guest operating system we need to install guys like this. See, this is our host operating system, main operating system. On top of that, we need to install one software which is called hypervisor. On top of that, we are going to install other guest operating systems. This is clear guys? So this is called virtualization. So we are taking one mission guys. In that mission, right, we are installing hypervisor software. We are installing hypervisor software. What is the purpose of this hypervisor guys? By using hypervisor in one operating system, we can install multiple other operating systems. Those are called as guest operating systems. In the guest operating system, we are installing the development stack. Whatever the Java we need to run our application, whatever the DB we need to run our application, whatever the servers we need to do, right? Everything we need to install in these applications. See guys. Right, on top of it host operating system, we are installing hypervisor. Right, on top of this hypervisor, we are installing guest operating system. Again, in this guest operating system, right, we need to install other softwares. Which Java version you required, which database you required, which server you required, everything we need to install it here to run this application. Same here also. Right here we install one guest operating system to run this application too. Right, what Java version is required, right, what database you required, what server you required, everything we need to install. At the same time, here guest operating system 3 we are installing. On top of that, you are going to run application 3. For application 3, whatever the softwares you required, everything you need to install it here. See guys, how much work is there? How much work we have it here? See guys, let me add the points at here. Guys, please concentrate what I am writing. Very, very important. Right. So we are taking one mission. We are taking one mission. We are taking one mission. In that mission, we are installing hypervisor software. What we are installing guys? We are installing hypervisor software in that mission. Right, we are taking one mission. On that mission, we are installing hypervisor software. Next, guys, right? What is the purpose of this hypervisor, guys? Why we need this hypervisor software? By using hypervisor software, by using hypervisor in one operating system, right, we can install multiple other operating systems. Multiple other operating systems we can install, guys. So those operating systems are called as, right, guest operating systems, guys. By using hypervisor in one operating system, we can install multiple other operating systems. Whatever the operating systems we are installing, those operating systems we will call it as guest operating systems. Right. So in the guest operating system, what we need to do, guys? In the guest operating system, we are installing all the required softwares, all the development stack, guys. Right, to develop the application, whatever the softwares are required, everything we are going to install. Right, so Java, right, which Java version is required, right, whatever the Java we required, whatever Java we required, right? So whatever database we required, right? Whatever the server we required, everything we need to install it here. In the guest operating system, we are installing all the development stack. Development stack means which version of Java we required, which version of database we required, which version of server we required, everything we are going to install it here, right? Development stack we are installing, right? We are installing development stack, guys. Right, we are installing development stack, everything, right? Everything they are going to install. They are installing development stack, right, in the guest operating system. Okay, fine. Anyway, we have written above, right? Fine, guys. And they are going to, this development stack is going to run our application, right, guys? So next, guys, so you need to purchase multiple computers, guys. See, guys, virtual machine 1, 2, 3, you need to purchase multiple computers. By using hypervisor in one computer, we are installing multiple guest operating systems. You are installing multiple guest operating systems, guys. See, guys, right, you need to purchase multiple systems, right? By using hypervisor, in one computer, right, we are installing multiple guest operating systems. Guys, please read these statements once. Whatever I have written, please read these statements, guys. Please go through the statements once. Yes, clear? Let me. So guys, here I have the front end components, back end components, and I have the database, and I have some of the environment variables and dependencies, libraries, some dependencies, required dependencies, all these things we have, guys. See guys, front end components we have, right? Back end components we have, right? Database we have, right? Here some dependencies and libraries we have, guys. Dependencies and libraries we have. Right, now observe carefully, guys. Front end components, back end components, databases, dependencies, everything is there, guys. Now here I have different missions, guys. Here I have different missions also. Here I am taking right. So one laptop I am taking, guys. This is my laptop, and here I am going to take one desktop. I am taking it here, right? And here I am going to take one server. I am taking, guys. This is one server mission. I am taking it here, and here I am going to take, right, like this, several things I am taking it here, guys. See here, this is my laptop, right? This is my desktop, right? This is server I am taking, guys. Now observe carefully, right? Here all these front end components, back end components, database, dependencies should be worked in all these devices, guys. Right here, whatever the front end components I am taking, it should be worked in this laptop, right? These components should work in, right, a desktop. These components should work in, right, should work in server. Same way here, whatever the backend components I am taking, these backend components should work in laptop, right? These backend components should work in desktop, right? These backend components should work in this server machine also. Right? Same way here, database, whatever I am taking, it should work in this laptop, right? It should work in this desktop, it should work in this server also. Same way here, dependencies, whatever I am taking, these dependencies should work in this laptop, these dependencies should work in this desktop, these dependencies should work in this server also, guys. See here, whatever the components we are taking, all these components should work in all the devices. Is there any guarantee, guys? Is there any guarantee? All the components will work in all these devices? There is no guarantee. There is no guarantee, guys. If all these components are not working in all these devices, if you give your application to this laptop, right, it may work or may not work. If you give your application to desktop, it will may work, it may not work. If you give application to the server, it may work or may not work, guys. Your application should work in all these devices, means all these components should be required in all these devices. Then only your application will work in all the devices, guys. Otherwise, it won't work. See guys, right, all the components you should put in your laptop, you should put in desktop, you should put in server, right, you should put in some other missions. In every mission, same components are required. Then only application will work. Otherwise, application will not work, guys. Right, guys? Right, see here, if you observe it here, if you go with virtualization, right, we have some advantages and disadvantages we have, guys. What advantages are there? What disadvantages are there with virtualization, guys? What advantages and what disadvantages we have with virtualization? So let me write it down and I can write the steps there only. Right. See here, what advantages we have, guys, with virtualization. If you go with virtualization, what advantages we have? Advantages with virtualization. What advantages we have with virtualization, guys? What advantages we have? See, guys, multiple operating systems in same mission, guys. We can run the multiple operating systems in same mission. The first advantage is we can install multiple operating systems in same mission. in a same machine we can install multiple operating systems. Right, if you are installing, if you have everything in single machine, maintenance is easy and recovery also very easy. Right, if you are maintaining everything in single machine, maintenance is easy, right, and recovery also easy, guys. Recovery also easy, right? So next, guys, see, lower total cost, guys, right? Lower cost also will be reduced, guys, right? Lower total cost of ownership, cost also less, here, guys. So these are the some advantages we have with virtualization, and we have some disadvantages also. What disadvantages are there, guys? Right, with virtualization, what disadvantages we have? Observe it here, guys. Disadvantages with virtualization. Disadvantages with virtualization. What disadvantages are there? See, guys, multiple VMs, multiple virtual machines lead to unstable performance. When you are taking multiple virtual machines, right, performance problem will come, guys. Right, so on single machine you are taking multiple virtual machines. In that case, performance issues will come. Multiple VMs, we are taking multiple virtual machines. Right, it leads performance issues. Unstable performance. It leads unstable performance. When we are taking multiple virtual machines, it leads unstable performance, guys. And here, hypervisor are not an efficient as host operating system, guys. Hypervisor on top of host operating system, we are taking one more software which is called as hypervisor. That hypervisor is not that much efficient as host operating system. Hypervisor is not that much efficient, guys. Hypervisor is not so that much efficient as host operating system. Guys. Next, right, long boot up process, guys. Right, here we are taking multiple virtual machines. So for boot up process, multiple operating systems are running on single machine. Means what it will happen? Whenever you start the machine, booting will happen, right? It will take a long time, guys. Long boot up process, guys. So these are the problems which we have with the this virtualization, guys. Please go through this, guys. What advantages we have, what disadvantages we have. Right, guys. To overcome this problem, right, long boot up means when you start your mission, booting will happen, right? It will load all the things, required things. When you switch on your computer, directly you will get the right browser window, guys. You won't get, right, some booting will happen internally. It should load some required things, right? So for that it will take long time. Guys. That boot up process will take long time. Right. So to overcome the problems which we are facing with the this virtualization, we are going for containerization. With the containerization, guys, right, if you go with the containerization, we are not going to take these many number of virtual machines. Containerization, we are not required to take the virtual machines. We are going to create the containers and we are going to run those containers. Operating system only I'm going to use. On that operating system, right, I will run one container. I'm not going to take these many number of virtual machines. Virtual machines are not required in the containerization concept. Right, all the code, application code, whatever we have, that code and all the dependencies to run that application, whatever the dependencies are required, whatever the softwares are required, everything we are going to package as a container, and that container we will run on this operating system. That's it, guys. We no need to take these many number of virtual machines in containerization. Here, whatever the problems, whatever the drawbacks we have in virtualization, all those problems we are going to overcome by using containerization concept. So let me take containerization. What is this containerization? What is this containerization, guys? See, observe carefully, guys. Here, same as usual, host operating system is available. Host operating system is available at here. Host operating system is available. Right, on top of this host operating system, right, we no need to take hypervisor software. Here, what we require to run the container, we need container engine is required. Container engine is required. Docker have Docker engine. By using that Docker engine, we are going to run the Docker containers. To run the containers, we need something, right? That engine we need to take it here. And if you go with virtualization on top of host operating system, we are taking hypervisor software. But in containerization, hypervisor software is not required. We need to take the container engine to run the containers. Right, guys? Here, let me take. Container engine we are going to take it here. Container engine we are taking, guys. Container engine we are taking it here. See, guys, on top of host operating system, we are taking one container engine. Right. So now what we are going to do for each and every application, we are going to create one container. Inside that container, that application code and that application related dependencies and libraries, that application related software, everything we are packaging as a container. See, guys, here I want to run 3 applications. If you want to run 3 applications, how many containers we required? 3 containers are required. Here, the container engine will run all those containers. See, guys, here I'm going to take 3 containers. This is one container. Right, this is another container. So this is other container. Other container I'm taking it here. Right, guys, here what we have to run the application. Right, to run the application here, I have one application which is app1. App1 application I'm taking it here. App1 I'm taking it here. Now here I'm going to take app2. App2 I'm taking it here. Application 2. Right, now here application 3. Application 3. Guys, for every application one container is required, guys. For every application one container is required. To run this application, whatever the libraries, softwares, whatever we required, everything you will get in that container only. To run the application, whatever the softwares are required, whatever the libraries are required, everything you will get in that container only. Libraries and everything you will get in the container only. Right, here who will run this container? Container engine is available. That container engine will run these containers. Container engine will run these containers, guys. Right, hypervisor is required to install the other operating system in host operating system. Container engine is required to run the containers, guys. Containers in the host operating system only. Here we are not taking any guest operating systems. On the host operating system only, we are going to run these containers by using container engine. Who will run these containers? Container engine will run these containers, guys. For every application, we need to create one container. See, guys. So this is containerization. Here we are not installing any guest operating systems and we are not taking hypervisor. Efficiency wise, hypervisor is not good like as host operating system, guys. That's why we are not using hypervisor also at here. Just we are using container engine. This container engine is required to run these containers, guys. Right here, right, who will run these containers? Container engine will run these containers. Where container engine will run these containers? On top of host operating system only. Here we are not taking any guest operating systems in the containerization concept. Is this clear, guys? Right. So now let me add few points about this containerization also. Right. Instead of installing multiple operating systems, instead of installing multiple operating systems, right, on the mission, on the installing multiple operating systems on the mission, we are going for containerization. Instead of installing multiple operating systems on the mission, we are going for containerization. Right, guys. Next here, whatever the development stack is required for the application execution, we are going to create as one container. Whatever the development stack is required to run one application, right, all those things we are going to create as a one container. Whatever the development stack is required, whatever the development stack is required for the application, whatever the development stack is required for the application execution, we are going to create as one container. And we will execute that container, right, in the host operating system only. We are not taking guest operating systems. In the host operating system only, I will execute those containers, guys. Right? You no need to install hypervisor at here, guys. You no need to install hypervisor. Guys. Right? You no need to install guest operating systems. You no need to install guest operating systems. You no need to install hypervisor. You no need to install guest operating systems to run your application. You no need to install hypervisor. You no need to install guest operating system also. Right? Because we are not going to follow the virtualization concept, guys. You follow the virtualization concept, you need to install hypervisor and you need to install, right, guest operating systems. But here we are not following that, right? So we no need to take hypervisor and we no need to install, right, guest operating system also, because right, we are not going to follow right, virtualization. We are not going to follow virtualization concept, guys. Right? Virtualization concept is outdated concept, guys. Nowadays, no one is using that. Virtualization. Everyone is going with containerization only. Virtualization is the outdated concept. Virtualization is the outdated concept. Old concept, guys. Old concept. No one is right, using this virtualization nowadays. Everyone is working with containerization only, right? So virtualization is outdated concept, guys. Right? Currently, we are going for containerization concept. Container means what, guys? One package. One container is nothing but one package, guys. Right? Everyone is going to work with containerization concept only. Containerization concept only. Right? Containerization is nothing but what? One package. One container is nothing but one package. One container is nothing but one package. One package, guys. One container is nothing but what? One package. Please read the statements once, guys. Please read the statements. Right, guys. Here, what other things we are going to do? Observe it here. Right. Application code and application dependencies. Application code and application dependencies will be packaged together, guys. Will be packaged together as a container. As a container, we are going to package, guys, and we are going to run that container, guys, and we are going to run that container. Application code, whatever we have written, that code and related dependencies will be packaged together as a container, and we are going to run that container. Right. So in order to run this container, what we required, guys? Container engine is required. If you want to run the container engine is required at here. In order to run the container, containers, right, what we required? Container engine is required. In order to run the containers, container engine is required, guys. Container engine is required. Anyway, we are going to take container engine also at here. In our mission, we are going to install container engine. In our mission, we are going to install container engine we are going to install in our mission. Right, once container engine is available, right, we can run multiple containers, guys. Right, once this container engine is available with this, right, once container engine is available, with this we can run multiple containers, guys. Once container engine is available, with that container engine we can run multiple containers, guys. Every application will be executed as one container, guys. Every application will be executed as one container. Guys. Every application will be executed as one container. Please go through the steps also. Guys, if you want to compare these virtualizations and Docker, if you want to compare virtualization and Docker, let me check guys in Google. Right, virtualization versus Docker. Virtualization versus Docker. Let me take any images. See guys, virtual machine guys. Each VM, each virtual machine runs its own operating system. Each virtual machine runs on its own operating system. All the containers share the same kernel of the host guys. Right? All containers will run on same host operating system only guys. Whatever the Docker containers we are creating, all the Docker containers are going to run on the same host operating system only. But coming to virtual machine, every virtual machine run its own operating system guys. Boot up time is in minutes guys. If you go with virtual machine, it will take more boot up time. Why? Because in single operating system, in single machine, multiple operating system you are installing. That's why it will take more boot up time. See guys, container instantiate in seconds only. Just seconds only it will take guys. Right. So next guys, VM's snapshots are used right springly. Right. UM's snapshots guys. Snapshots are nothing but what guys? Backups. VM's backup guys. Images are built incrementally on top of another like layers guys. Lot of images are snapshots guys. No effective differences, not versions controlled guys. Images can be deferred and can be version controlled. Next, cannot run more than one couple of VMs on average laptop. It can run many Docker containers in a laptop guys. Only one VM can be started from like this. We have several differences guys. Let me add advantages of this. Advantages. Let me add the advantages of containerization. Advantages. What advantages we have guys? What advantages we have? Right, there we have seen, right? What we have seen there? Containers on same operating system kernel. Containers will run on containers will run on same OS kernel. Same OS kernel guys. Same OS kernel are lighter and smaller guys. And smaller. Right. Then next here, boot up process guys. Right. Better resource utilization guys. Right. Compare with VMs. Right. Better resource utilization is there. Better resource utilization. Right. Then compare with then VMs guys. Then VMs. Next guys. Right. Shorter boot up process. Shorter boot up process guys. And whatever the problems we are facing with virtualization, all those things we can overcome with containerization guys. Right. See guys, you can compare like this also. Right. You can compare like this. Let me add the comparisons guys. What we need to take? Here I am going to take virtualization. I am taking Virtualization I'm taking. One minute. Virtualization I'm taking it here. Next here I'm going to take Docker I'm taking it here, guys. Right, yes, now observe carefully. Here size wise, guys, size wise virtualization size is very big, right? Virtualization size is very big, guys. Coming to Docker, small, guys. Docker containers are very small. Containers are very small, guys. Next one here, right? Startup, guys. Startup time, right? Virtualization will take more time. It will take more time. It will take more time, right? Coming to this Docker, right? Fast, guys. Fast. It is very fast. It is very fast, guys. It is very fast. You can take. It is very slow. It is very slow, right? So next, guys, next one is, right, integration, guys. Integrations, right? Virtualization, guys, very headache process, guys. Hectic process, hectic, guys, right? Very hectic in virtualization, right? If you go with the Docker, easy, guys. Easily we can finish. Easily we can do the integration, guys. These are the comparisons between virtualization and, right, Docker, guys. These are the comparisons between virtualization and Docker, guys. Okay. Right, now tell me, guys, what is containerization, guys? I want to run my application in multiple machines. Those machines are having different configurations, different softwares, different operating systems are available in those machines. See, guys, what is containerization? In interview, if they ask what is containerization, what answer you guys will give? What answer you guys will give? I want to run my application in multiple systems. These are the multiple systems which I am taking. These are the multiple systems which I am taking. I want to run my application in all these missions. In all these missions, guys. But these missions are having different configurations and different softwares and different operating systems are available in these missions, guys. Right, in these three missions, different configurations are available, different softwares are available, different operating systems are available, guys. Now I want to install front-end components, back-end components, DB components, environment libraries, dependencies in all the missions, guys. Right, it is very difficult to process. It is very difficult to process. In how many missions I am taking, in all those missions I want to install front-end components, back-end components, DB components, right, environment variables, libraries, dependencies, all these things I need to install in all these missions. Right, it is very difficult to process. That's why what I will do is, right, I will package my application, right, and my application related components as one container. In my system, whatever the application I have developed, that application code and that application components I will package as one container. And I will package, right, my application and application required components, everything as a container, and I am going to run that container in all these missions. Whatever the missions I am taking, in all these missions I will run that container. Everything I will keep in one container, guys. Everything I will keep in one container. See, guys, see, this is my container. Inside this container I will put application code, dependencies, components, everything, guys. Right, here application code I am taking, right, and the dependencies I am taking, right, and here I am taking required softwares I am taking, right, all the components and other components and other components. right? Everything I'm going to take, guys. Everything I'm going to package as one container. This is my container. This is my container, guys. In one container, everything I will keep in one container. My application code and whatever the required things, everything I will take in this container, and I'm going to I'm going to execute this container in all these missions. Right? This container I will run on this mission, and this mission. Now, whatever we have at here, all these things will come in these missions also. Understood, guys? What is containerization? Right, I want to run my application in multiple missions. Those missions are having different configurations, different softwares, different operating systems are available in these missions. Now, I want to install my application related front-end components, my application related back-end components, my application related DB components, dependencies, softwares, everything I need to install in all these missions. It is very difficult process. To avoid that difficulty, what I am going to do, right, I am going to package my application code and required dependencies, required softwares, required components as one container. I'm going to package everything as a single container, right? And I'm going to run this container in all these missions. In all these missions, I will run this container. Now, inside this container, whatever I packaged, everything will come in all these missions also. Then my application will execute it. My application will run successfully in all the missions. That is called containerization, guys. In order to achieve containerization in our application, we are going to use Docker. In order to achieve this containerization in our application, we are going to use Docker. Is it clear? So what is Docker, guys? What is Docker? What is Docker, guys? Docker is a platform for packaging, deploying, and running the application. Docker is a platform for packaging, deploying, and running the applications, guys. Docker is a package. Docker is a package for Docker is a platform. Docker is a platform for packaging, deploying, and running the application. Right? Docker enables you to separate your applications from your infrastructure so you can deliver the software quickly. Guys. What we are going to do, guys, I'm going to separate the infrastructure from my application, and whatever I have taken from my system, I will deliver that software quickly, guys. Docker enables you to separate Docker enables you to separate your application from your infrastructure so you can deliver that software quickly. So you can deliver that software quickly. Whatever you are separating, so that software you can deliver quickly. Docker packages software into standardized units called as containers, guys. What Docker is doing? Docker will package software into standardized units called as containers, guys, that have everything of the software needs to run, guys. Container have everything software needs, everything the software needs, guys. Right, guys? By taking this advantage, what is the advantage of Docker methodologies, guys? right? Shipping, testing, deploying quickly we can do, guys. Right? What a Docker architecture look like, guys? Right? Docker architecture, how it look like? How this Docker architecture look like, guys? Observe carefully, guys. Guys, if you want to create the container, if you want to run the container, the very first thing what we required is Docker file. We required Docker file, guys. We required Docker file. Right? From this Docker file, from this we need to build this Docker file, guys. Whatever the Docker file we are taking, so that file we need to build. Right? If you build that Docker file, right, what you will get, guys? Whenever you build this Docker file, you will get one Docker image. You will get one Docker image, guys. Docker image you will get, guys. Right? You need to build this Docker file. Whenever you have built this Docker file, you will get Docker image. Now you need to run this. You can, by using Docker image, we can run, guys. You need to run this Docker image as Docker container. You need to run this Docker image as container, guys. Docker container. Docker container. And here what we need to do, guys? Here we need to build this file. Here we need to build this file. If build is a success, what it will happen? Docker image will create. And we need to run this Docker image. And Docker image will run as a Docker container. Docker container, guys. Right, guys? Inside this Docker file, we need to configure all the details, guys. Right? In our application, whatever the softwares we are using, which versions of the softwares we are using, where code is available, everything we need to configure inside the Docker file. We need to keep complete information inside the Docker file. And we need to run that Docker file. Whenever you build that Docker file, Docker image will create. If you have this Docker image, right, you can run this Docker image as a container, guys. Guys, here anywhere pod is there, pod will come in Kubernetes, guys. Pod won't come in Dockers. Right? Pod contains multiple containers. Pod contains multiple containers. Pod is nothing but one wrapper on top of the containers, guys. We can run multiple containers inside the pod. Okay, pod will come in the Kubernetes, not it here, guys. Okay, see, guys, here Docker image is very important, guys. Right, so we can create our custom Docker images also. Here what we are going to practice in our Docker sessions, guys, we are going to write Docker files. We need to learn how to write the Docker files. Right, next we need to learn how to create the custom Docker images, and we need to learn how to run the containers, and all those things we need to learn first, guys. See, here Docker images, we can create our own images, and we can take some predefined images also available, guys. Where that predefined images are available, see, guys, here hub.docker.com. hub.docker.com. This is the registry, guys. Docker registry, Docker hub registry. Inside that you will get some of the predefined Docker images. And we need to create the account, guys. Everyone, guys, before coming to tomorrow's session, please create the account in this, guys. See, here we have the register option. Right, we have the register option. Go to here and create one account. We need one account, guys. Tomorrow we will create our own images, right? We are going to create our own images, right? We can upload these images into the registry. We can upload these images into the registry. If you upload those images in the registry, those images are available to all, right? Those images are available to the public. If anybody want, they can download your image for their requirement purpose, guys. They can download image and they can work on that. See, guys, for time being, I'm going to click on explore. Explore, guys. See, guys, here you can able to see all the images. Whatever the images are there, everything you can see it here. See, guys, see, these are the images. See, for official images, you will get this symbol, guys. Docker official image. Docker official image. Docker official Nginx. Nginx, this is the official image, guys. By using this, right, you can pull this Docker image in our system. You can, from this hub registry, Docker registry, we need to pull this image in your system and you need to run that image, guys. See, guys, you can create your own images from the Docker files, or else inside this registry, this is the public registry, guys. We have two types of registries, guys. One is public registry, second one is the private registry. Public registry is nothing but what? Docker Hub. Docker Hub is the public registry, right? There, whatever the images are available, those images are available for all the people. Anyone can able to access these images. At the same time, private registry also we will create in our company, in our project, whoever working, those people only can able to access those images, guys. That is called as private registry, right? We will discuss how to create the private registry, how to upload the images into the public registry, everything we will discuss. Through commands, here whatever the images we are creating, these images we need to upload into the Docker Hub. Docker Hub, guys. Once you upload the images into the Docker Hub, here you can search. Here you can search with your image name, that image will come, and here you can see how many people used your image, how many people downloaded your image, everything you can able to see it here. See, initially they will give one hello world. Hello world image is available, guys. See, guys, one image, hello world image is available. Hello world image is available, right? You can download this image, you can pull this image in your system, and you can run this image, guys. Right? If you want to download and if you want to run all these things, first we need to complete the setup, guys. We need to complete the installation setup. See, guys, what terminology we are going to use it here, guys? Here we are going to use some terminology. What terminology we are going to use when we are working with the Docker? So this terminology is very, very important. What terminology? See, guys, right here, Docker files, next Docker images, Docker image, next here Docker Hub, next here Docker registry, next here we have Docker client, wherever we are going to give the commands, that is called Docker client, guys. Next here Docker container, etc. This terminology we need to use frequently, guys. When we are in the next 1 week, we are going to use this terminology only. We are going to use this terminology only in the next 1 week of the time, guys. Okay, is this clear, guys? What we discussed, what is virtualization, what is containerization, what is the Docker, right? So what terminology we need to use in Docker, right? All these are clear. Okay, so tomorrow session I will show how to install the Docker, and how to, right, what is the Docker file, right? What is Docker file, what is Docker image, what is Docker container, right? How to create the Docker files, our own Docker files, right? How to create the account, how to pull the images from the Docker Hub to our local system. We need to pull the images, guys. Right, by using those images, how to run those images and how to run the containers, everything we will discuss in tomorrow's session, guys. Okay, fine, guys. Anyone have any questions up to here? Right, we will share, guys, this notepad and this paint, whatever I have prepared it here, everything I will share. Guys. Please go through this. Right, tomorrow session we will see the practical things, guys. First we will do the Docker setup. Next, right, we will install the Docker software. First we need to create the one virtual machine, guys. Inside that virtual machine we need to install the Docker. Then, right, we need to create the account in the Docker Hub. We need to pull some Docker images from the Docker Hub, and we need to create the containers, guys. What commands we need to use? What are the basic commands we required to build the Docker file? One command we need to use, right? Next, to see whatever the images are available, right, we need to use one command. To see whatever the containers are created, we need one command. For every operation, corresponding commands are required, guys. We will discuss those commands also. What commands are available, what is the importance of those commands, everything we will discuss in tomorrow's session, guys. We have Docker commands, guys. Docker info, Docker images, Docker pull, Docker, right? So all these things, Docker run image name, right? What these commands we will discuss in tomorrow's session. Fine, guys. With this the demo sessions are completed, guys. Right? So we can't able to take more demo sessions. Why? Because, right? So in next 4 to 5 days, I'm going to complete the Docker, guys. I'm going to finish the Docker. So with this, demo sessions are completed. Maybe from tomorrow onwards, they are going to change the link, guys. Okay, fine, guys. Fine. So we will connect tomorrow, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.